Under the blazing El Paso sun, a massive armored convoy storms through the desert. 25 steel beasts in perfect formation, hauling a nightmare toward a fortress just 7 miles from a quiet neighborhood. Inside, 300 barrels of lethal chemicals, 363,000 pounds of benzyl alcohol, and 334,000 pounds of N-methylformide, enough to mass-produce narcotics or forge chemical weapons capable of poisoning millions. Guarding this toxic cargo is a small private army, 130 hardened mercenaries, battle-tested in wars across the globe. Their machine guns roar at 3,000 rounds per minute, and behind their walls, more than 180 women and children are trapped as hostages. This is not a cartel raid. This is a full-blown siege on American soil. The clock is ticking. Can elite US Special Forces breach this fortress, rescue every hostage, and stop a billion-dollar catastrophe before it reaches the streets? September 4th, 7:45 a.m. The silence of the desert shatters. Dust trails rise as the convoy slices across the highway, a grim reminder that this battle is about to begin. These mercenaries are no ordinary smugglers. They are war-hardened predators, veterans of foreign conflicts, armed to the teeth and ready to kill. Mounted on their armored trucks are 6-barreled miniguns, each capable of spewing 3,000 rounds a minute. Enough firepower to shred anything foolish enough to stand in their path. To them, this convoy is untouchable. It is not just transport. It is a moving fortress, a challenge to anyone brave enough to intervene. But unseen, high above the desert, American reconnaissance drones lock on. Silent predators in the sky, they capture every move, every formation, every heartbeat of this steel procession. In Washington, alarms are ringing. The Pentagon knows exactly what is coming, what's inside those barrels, and what's waiting at the end of that road, a heavily fortified compound near the border, with more than 180 hostages, women and children, being used as human shields. From the Situation Room, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff issues the order. The mission is greenlit. The clock starts now. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff delivers the order that will decide the day. If that convoy makes it inside the base, the price will be thousands of innocent lives. We stop them, no matter the cost. The decision is final. There will be no escape, no retreat. The mercenaries think their fortress and firepower make them untouchable. What they don't know is that Washington has mapped their every step, their speed, their timing, their weaknesses, all calculated to the second. A storm is coming. By 8:20 a.m., the convoy breaches the gates of their desert stronghold. Dust swirls in the morning sun as the final vehicle rumbles inside. For a brief moment, there is silence. Then, far above the desert sky, the hunters strike. Just 7 miles from El Paso's quiet suburbs, the convoy reaches its destination, a vast desert fortress masquerading as a simple cluster of warehouses. But appearances deceive. This is no warehouse. It is a war machine built from steel and fear. 15-foot-high walls topped with 4 layers of razor wire cut the sky like jagged fangs. Along the perimeter, 12 heavy machine guns wait like predators, each able to unleash 3,000 rounds a minute, turning open ground into a kill zone. More than 200 armed guards prowl the perimeter, rifles at the ready, their shadows sweeping the dust. Inside these walls lies pure horror. Intelligence confirms over 180 hostages, women and children, kidnapped from border towns. Some have only days before they are sold into human trafficking networks. The rest suffer in silence, starved, beaten, and treated as slaves, their lives hanging by a thread. This is not just a criminal hideout, it is a ticking time bomb. And now, Every second counts. Under the blazing El Paso sun, a nightmare rolls across the desert. 25 armored vehicles, a steel convoy, grind forward in perfect formation, carrying death just 7 miles from American homes. Inside, 1,300 barrels of lethal chemicals, 363,000 pounds of benzyl alcohol, and 334,000 pounds of N-methyl formide, enough to mass-produce narcotics or forge chemical weapons capable of poisoning millions. Guarding this convoy is an army of killers, 130 hardened mercenaries, battle-tested and armed to the teeth. Mounted on their vehicles, 6-barreled miniguns roar at 3,000 rounds per minute, tearing through anything foolish enough to stand in their path. To them, this convoy is untouchable, a mobile fortress no one would dare to challenge. But high above, silent predators stalk their prey. American reconnaissance drones track every vehicle, every heartbeat, every step toward their destination. A fortress of steel masquerading as warehouses, just 7 miles from El Paso's residential neighborhoods. 15-foot walls lined with razor wire, 12 machine gun nests, over 200 armed guards patrolling the perimeter, and more than 180 hostages trapped inside. Women and children with only days before they are sold to traffickers or killed. This is not a cartel hideout. This is a factory of human suffering. And if this convoy reaches it, the chemicals and cash will transform it into an impenetrable hub of terror. Missiles and airstrikes are off the table. A single detonation could massacre every hostage inside. The solution must be surgical. Special forces on the ground, UAVs in the sky. Every second, by 8:45 a.m., the chessboard is set. 350 Navy SEALs crouch just outside the perimeter, divided into surgical teams. 50 operators are tasked with breaching the hostage cells. 20 snipers lie prone half a mile away, rifles dialed in at 1,200 yards. Special Forces divers have already mapped the drainage tunnels for alternate entry. Above them, 95 UAVs circle invisibly at 500 feet, streaming every second back to the command center in San Antonio. Each drone carries a 12-pound precision charge, small enough to avoid collateral damage, powerful enough to erase a machine gun nest in one strike. The plan is absolute. At 9:10:15, the first drones dive, steel hornets screaming down onto the western wall. Explosions tear through the perimeter in a chain of fire. One UAV slams into a watchtower, detonating its rotary cannon in a single blast. Another penetrates an ammo depot, setting off 6,000 rounds of ammunition in a thunderous cascade. Panic grips the mercenaries. 80 fighters rush to the western wall, blind firing through smoke. They've taken the bait. In the east, thermite charges melt the steel gate in under 20 seconds. SEALs pour through the breach, MP7s whispering death in precise, suppressed bursts. 11 guards fall in the first 2 minutes, not one able to raise the alarm. Flashbangs light the corridors as 12-man teams clear rooms with relentless precision. Overhead, the second wave of drones dives. 9 heavy positions are obliterated. Bravo team leads the charge. Explosive charges no larger than a fist blast open the first warehouse doors. 6 mercenaries fall to clean headshots before they can fire. By 9:33, 62 hostages are freed, terrified but alive. Resistance hardens near the second warehouse. 70 mercenaries unleash 1,200 rounds in 3 minutes, but the SEALs advance like a machine. Grenades carve open corridors. 29 defenders lie dead. 15 more surrender, hands raised. Above, the final wave of drones strikes. Fuel depots, weapons caches, mortar stocks. The fortress becomes an inferno. Smoke rises 200 feet high, blotting out the morning sun. By 9:40, the stronghold is collapsing. Snipers cut down the fugitives outside. Inside, 4 warehouses are cleared, every chain broken. 2 hostages walk free. In just 30 minutes, America's finest have killed or captured 320 mercenaries, executed over 60 precision strikes, and seized 697,000 pounds of drug precursors intact. Standing amid the smoldering rubble, the American commander delivers the message to the world. This is not about chemicals or weapons. This is about lives. Anyone who tries to profit from human suffering will meet the same fate: fire and ash. The fortress is gone. What remains is a warning carved in steel and blood. America's resolve cannot be broken. The border is not just a line on a map. It is a line America will defend with fire. On the morning of September the 12th, an empire of fear was dismantled in half an hour. Hostages were rescued. Billions of dollars in drugs never reached the streets. And the world was reminded: no mountain is too high, no fortress too strong, no enemy too far. When America strikes, there is no escape.